Queen Elizabeth, Lady Diana, and the royal family. Her Majesty and Diana, Princess of Wales, were two of the most well-known, well-loved, and well-recognized members of the British royal family in the contemporary age. When Diana Spencer wed Prince Charles, the eldest son of the Queen, on July 29, 1981, she became a potential Queen consort. But problems quickly arose in the marriage, and Charles and Diana divorced in 1996, a year before Diana's sad death in a car crash in Paris at the age of 36. But how did Diana and the Queen, her mother-in-law, get along? Let's get to know about it. But before that, make sure to subscribe to the channel, along with turning on the notifications. Let's get started. Welcome to a brief history of: when did the Queen meet Diana? The Spencers, Diana's family, have had a long-standing and warm relationship with the British monarchy. Both of her grandmothers had been ladies-in-waiting to the Queen Mother, and her father had served as an equerry to the Queen. It's true that Diana's grandma, Baroness Fermoy, was in touch with the Queen Mother for many years. Diana's childhood was spent at Park House, which is part of the royal family's Norfolk estate, in Sandringham. Diana, born in 1961, frequently spent time at Kensington Palace with the Queen's younger boys, Andrew, born in 1960, and Edward, born in 1964. Diana Spencer was too young to consider Charles, who was more than 12 years her senior, a playmate. When did Charles meet Diana? It wasn't until 1977, while Charles was seeing Diana's older sister, Sarah, that the public noticed the Prince of Wales and Diana. Diana was 16, and Charles was nearing 30. The Prince of Wales made quite an impact on the young Diana when they met at a grouse hunt, but all he can recall is that she was a jolly little lady. The royal family strongly supported Charles and Diana's romance from the start, even though it didn't begin until a few years later. Charles, now 32, was under increasing pressure to marry well and have at least one child who would become king. Unlike Camilla Parker Bowles, who Charles had been in love with nearly a decade previously, Diana was young, and by norms of the time, still a virgin, making her an ideal bride. Camilla married Andrew Parker Bowles after her divorce from Charles, but she and the Prince of Wales remained close, despite the fact that the prince's family had opposed the couple's relationship. Under pressure from his father, Prince Philip, and with the help of the Queen Mother and Baroness Fermoy's secret matchmaking, Charles proposed to Diana in February 1981, after only 13 dates. Not a fairy tale. Despite the fairy tale atmosphere of their wedding in July 1981, it soon became clear that Charles and Diana were not a romantic match, and that Diana shared few interests with Charles and his family. Charles was 32, and Diana was only 20 when they tied the knot. It didn't help that the spotlight was getting stronger and brighter, but the newlyweds were soon having a screaming match. Later, palace sources would say that Diana sought the Queen's advice after entering the royal family. Although the two women couldn't have been more dissimilar, Her Majesty was devoted to her duties as Queen and was always unflappable. Even when surrounded by her immediate family, she wasn't ready to deal with Diana's sensitivity. Diana yearned for a personal connection, but Her Majesty was unable to give it to her. While tensions grew between Charles and Diana, schisms between the Queen and Diana also became apparent. The marriage broke down. In the years following the births of their boys, William in 1982 and Harry in 1984, Charles and Diana made sincere efforts to mend their shattered marriage. However, the combination of Diana's fame and Harry's birth led to growing anger on Charles' part. Diana was so dominant that she eclipsed not only Charles, but the entire royal family. Charles and Diana's extramarital romances began in the mid-1980s. and the Queen and Prince Philip attempted to save their marriage by convening a summit after the 1992 publication of Andrew Morton's bombshell book, Diana, Her True Story, which it was later discovered Diana had helped write. By the end of 1992, the Queen had decided to allow the fracturing couple to legally divorce. The War of Wales became a public spectacle in 1995, when both Charles and Diana appeared on talk shows where they revealed intimate details about their life. Diana said she had little family support throughout her marriage in her much-maligned interview with Martin Bashir. After nearly 4 years of separation, the Queen reluctantly wrote, according to reports, Her Majesty pushed for Diana to keep the Her Royal Highness title, despite Charles' firm opposition to Charles and Diana, to tell them that they needed to finalize their divorce. Diana's death in 1997. Diana's death in a high-speed vehicle crash in Paris on August 31, 1997, was exactly 1 year and 3 days after the divorce between her and Charles was finalized on 28 August 1996. During the subsequent week, the Queen was criticized for her uncaring demeanor. However, on the eve of Diana's funeral on September 6th, she gave a live speech in which she praised her ex-daughter-in-law, and she also broke with tradition by allowing the flag to fly at half-staff over Buckingham Palace on the day of her funeral. As the casket carrying Princess Diana was carried past her during the funeral, Her Majesty likewise lowered her head. Following her death, there were several conspiracies that arose, and one of them was that the royal family was responsible for Diana's death. What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and before you go, hit the like and subscribe buttons.